Thank you, everybody.
Quiet now, because we have a lot to say. Is it on? The mic's on?
Testing. I think it's on.
I think the mics are on. Hello, everybody. That's much better. Okay, so some little cueness would be good because we have some great speakers here, have so much to say, and there's so much exciting things happening. You want to be a part of it. So this, I'm actually going to set the clock because I don't want the hook. So this event, we're going to have a conversation about how Flagship events drive city growth, how it attracts investment, visitors, and civic pride. And because we're in New York, we have to talk about the Knicks, and we have to talk about Knicks economics. That's a new phrase that they've coined, talking about the hundreds of billions of dollars, millions of dollars they brought into the city. And equally important, they've built such strong community, which is really, really important. And that really is what some major flagship events can do. We're going to talk about how Belfast City Council, Tourism Ireland, and their partners are doing this and how they want to grow this sector so everybody benefits. So joining me on the stage, Alison Metcalfe, Head of North America, Australia, New Zealand for Tourism Ireland, John Walsh, Chief Executive for Belfast City Council. Welcome, welcome. So we're going to start a little bit with Titanic Belfast because it is such an anchor attraction that has morphed so many events. It's now 12 or 14 years in its iteration. It's a story of regeneration, and it really put Belfast on the map globally, which is really important. So I'm sure there's lots of lessons learned about what to do, what not to do with investment. So John, when you're looking at investments from the Belfast City Council, what have you learned? What do you want to do better, and how has it informed how you take on projects?
So I wasn't CEO at the time when Titanic came along, but I was one of the council's lawyers, so I do have some recollection. I was a lawyer, but I'm all right now. But I do remember, this idea was being floated, and of course it's just, if you think about it for a second, it was a building that was going to memorialise a big ship that sank on its maiden voyage, which was, at that time, there were a few question marks over that as a theme in itself. And little did we know that Titanic was actually probably one of our strongest signature brands of the city. So there was that. There was also the people who said the numbers are not going to stack up on this. This is going to be, a huge white elephant. And they were all wrong. They were absolutely all wrong. Not only is it a fabulous visitor attraction, it adds 70 million to the economy annually. I mean, it's just fabulous. And, working your way through all of that back then, the political milestones, navigating that terrain with them to ensure that they could buy into the vision, connecting in with community so they could understand what it is that you're trying to do, particularly that East Belfast community where, shipbuilding had once been a real marker of that community, but it had left us. So Titanic was something actually, even though it sank on its maiden voyage, was something that they were genuinely proud of. So, in terms of all of that it delivers for the city, working your way through those things, convincing people that it's the right thing to do, staying steadfast in the face of people saying to you it's never going to work, is what you have to do to make change happen.
Mm-hmm. And it continues to evolve. I mean, it's now, you've got the Titanic Quarters, you've got a whole new partnership structure, you've got a lot of private money involved in it.
But you look at what that spawns in terms of not only like the broader community value and the social value that comes from all of that. It also is set up in a trust format where there's reinvestment being made, not only in the Titanic content itself, which just undergone a £10 million refresh, but there's also investments that are being made along that whole waterfront that are changing the face of that place, which was once industrial, but is now home to, a distillery, up and coming tech businesses have located down there. Some of the city deal businesses with the universities were located there. Beautiful walkways, grand plans for the future, all formulated and all being narrated and partially being paid for through that trust arrangement.
Yes, it's amazing, and I think I forgot to say that last May, the Titanic project had the 10th millionth visitor.
10 million, we celebrated, it was an Australian. I'm sure they got some surprise as they walked through it. G'day, g'day. G'day, g'day, you're the 10 millionth visitor.
They got a ticker tape parade, did they?
You get an inflatable Titanic, well done.
But I think we're going to move on.
We got a big dinner, it was great.
Yeah. But Alison, you still benefit from the Titanic project. You do a lot of conferences there. You did a big conference in Canada.
We did, and actually I was there on the day that the 10 millionth visitor arrived, and according to my records, it was a Canadian. But anyway, we actually hosted a large business conference, and I think that's just again a sign of the confidence in Belfast, bringing in a major travel conference, 200 delegates from Canada, all of whom are going to be great ambassadors selling travel and seeing the destination. So a great vote of confidence, and increasingly we're seeing more and more events and people requesting Belfast because they've been to Dublin before, they've maybe been to Killarney before, but they still want to go back to Ireland. But Belfast is a great business events destination. Well,
that's a great shows you that one, you've got a major landmarks anchor attraction that is still popular, and the importance of reinvestment, the importance of evolving it, growing it, and it's proving to work out well. So I think that's probably taught a lot of lessons that you are now putting towards some of the other signature projects you're doing. We'll get into Belfast stories a little bit later, because I'd say you've probably learned a lot of lessons on that, which will really benefit. But Alison, let's build on that and look at where we are in 2026. Now, it's been an interesting year, interesting few months for travel, but it seems to be correcting itself. People are going. And now, are you confident? How confident are you in Belfast being, continuing to be a growth destination for travel?
Oh, very confident. I mean, I think if we just, three things really spring to mind for me. First of all, it's the data. We just look at visitor data. In 2025, 2 million overseas visitors went to Northern Ireland. And outside of Great Britain, North America is the most important market. Spend more, stay longer. And if we also then just look at the tour operators that are now programming, our distribution channels that are programming Northern Ireland, increasingly they want to expand those programs. So they're getting requests from their consumers. They want to go back. They want to see other parts of the island of Ireland. Investment in, we've heard a little bit about it today, but also the second thing is the investment in critical tourism and transportation infrastructure. Belfast has its own Grand Central Station, which is connecting now, that great connectivity, connecting the bus and rail networks between Belfast and Dublin and all around Northern Ireland. And that's important to people that want to use public transportation, want to be more sustainable in their travel choices. The investment too in hotels, it's really impressive. I mean, I just name a few. The recent, the opening of the 5-star boutique hotel, the Bedford Hotel. Great to see that old Scottish Mutual Insurance building being, brought back to life. A couple more hotel developments, I think, were just approved this week. So they accommodate. So that's confidence from an investment perspective. And we are, Tourism Ireland is there to sort of stimulate demand. So we need to make sure we have the infrastructure there. The third thing really is the continued investment in signature projects that we're talking about, but also in major events, because they are a great way to sort of build strong brand reputation. And I think Belfast has had a track record, not just the last 5 years, but if you go back to when they hosted the MTV Musical Awards in 2010, they hosted also the Giro d'Italia sporting events. And other sporting events like the Open Championship last year, that also had benefits for Belfast. So investment in that, and then working in partnership with Tourism Northern Ireland, investing in product and experience development. People are very intentional in their travel now. They want to make sure that there are great things to do and see that appeal to their interests. And they've done some incredible work under the Experience Northern Ireland brand. And finally, I have to say, whilst we would love and we hope we will get a transatlantic service back to Belfast, we are seeing a significant increase in direct access to Dublin. So, as I like to say to my colleagues in Dublin, in Belfast, when I'm up there talking to industry, every additional seat that goes into Dublin is an opportunity for us at Tourism Ireland to give them reasons to turn left. And increasingly, visitors want to go to Northern Ireland. So I'm very confident. And then overall for the island of Ireland, we're tracking ahead of where we were last year through April. I think we just have to see what the numbers look like for the rest of the year. But I think most consumers, and particularly here in North America, they see Ireland as safe, secure, warm, and welcoming. And I would be cautiously optimistic right now. I think things have stabilized.
They have. I just got back from Ireland last week, and I was in Budapest. We had no problems. And I was nervous, and we had no problems. Everything was on time. Aer Lingus was great.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking of going, you can book, you can go. It's actually stabilizing, which is great.
Well, I think people are just resilient, and travel is a big part of people's lifestyle nowadays, and they are traveling. Certainly the premium market is very resilient. The mid-market, clearly there's cost of living concerns that's impacting some segments of the market, but Ireland as a whole would be doing slightly better than the rest of Europe, and obviously the situation's impacted certain parts of Europe more than others, but Europe as a whole, US outbound to Europe, is still doing pretty well.
So now we're going to talk about some major events coming up that are going to be epic. I think there's the Flagship, which a number of people have talked about. So can we call it the Flagship economics? Can we make a term for it? You've got 2 years now to get this going. Flagship economics, kill economics, where we're going to show that the Flagship success is going to bring a lot of investment and economic activity into Belfast. But first, you all know what the Flagship is. It's the largest annual festival of Irish music. It's held in Belfast for the first time. We do have a short video, so let's look at that.
You know it when you hear it. A pulse, mahushla. Sound spills into the streets, over cobblestones, across a city together in session. It tells our stories, breathes our passion. This is Trad. Feel the energy of the Fla in Belfast.
Whatever else, I feel myself.
So, John, tell me about Belfast City Council and how this worked out. I know there's a number of partners involved in this. Was this a bidding process? What made you go after the bid? And how did you get the bid for 2 years? How did you do that?
So, we started pursuing this about, I think the initial conversation is probably about 6, 7 years old. And then we went into a bidding process. We lost out to Wexford for 2 years, which was bitter. But as I said at the time when we missed out, we were committed to getting there. And it's a bit like the Shawshank Redemption. I kept writing them a letter and I wouldn't go away. So we were successful in our bid for 26, and we were confirmed in our bid for 27 this year as well. So yes, flag holding the Heron will be in Belfast for both 26 and 27.
Yes, that's huge. That is the first time that's happened. So now in year one, what will you be tracking to measure success?
Well, do you know what? I mean, you see, you put it into the hard, cold economics of it all.
It's
and it's, it's like, and I kind of get that, because probably I've used that as being a lever in terms of selling this to people in the past. But if you actually think of this in terms of our city, this is a moment. This is a real moment. This is the biggest ever event that will have landed in Belfast ever.
900,000 you're expecting?
Well, we're expecting, we think 800,000. So Wexford did 800,000. We think we're better connected. We think we can deliver 800,000. And we think that the experience in terms of what you learn in year one and what other people see and the experience of other places that have hosted it, year two will be even bigger, as a fact.
Absolutely.
So
You'll
why
learn from
Belfast?
it.
Of course,
Yes.
Belfast is a city of music. It bursts at the seam for music. That's why bands and other artists love playing in this place, because they know it's special. Belfast and the Fla are absolutely made for each other. From the energy of the people who live there and who will come there to experience it, the best venues, the earthy, gritty honesty of that place, its connectivity in terms of the core of the city being compact and easy to get around, it properly lends itself to this fabulous, fabulous festival. And you know what? If you're not there, you're really missing out on that moment. Get yourself there.
That's it. Flexionomics, I could see it happening. So we only have a few minutes left, and we have a lot to discuss. But again, when we're doing this and we're using events for city growth, it's really important that it filters down to everyone. So how are you both kind of working to make sure that small businesses benefit, public benefit, everybody gets involved?
Yeah, first of all, to the community piece, I mean, we've been really clear. We're going to deliver a FLA that is faithful to all the best principles of the FLA, but it will be authentic of the city that we come from. So all communities will have a representation within what's going on. In relation to how you sort of put the thing together, you need that engagement with communities, you need the engagement with the business sector, you need the engagement with all the other stakeholders. And let me tell you, it's 40-something days away now, and I wake up with a sore head every morning, and it's not drink.
So Alison, now you've been promoting this with your tour operators and your partners, and what are you doing to get them involved, the hotels, so they benefit?
Well, I mean, we will use it to inspire visitation to Belfast. So already, I mean, the great news is that it is going to happen in 27. So we've got the legacy effect, and we can use the next 12 months to promote it. So already we've had, journalists over, getting an insight and getting a taste of what the flower is going to be like in Belfast. We'll be promoting it through the tour operators, but also through our consumer marketing campaign. So great content, and we track, consumer engagement with our marketing activity, and particularly some of the creative and the content that features Northern Ireland and features Belfast. And we know this will do extremely well because overseas visitors, and particularly US visitors, when they travel, they want to experience local culture, heritage, music. It needs to be authentic, and they want to meet local people. And this is a great way to meet the locals. And I heard others talking about Belfast people being the doers and the dreamers, but I also like to refer to them as they're the extra milers. They go the extra mile in everything they do in terms of whether it's delivering the festival, delivering a great culinary experience, or delivering just a general quality vacation experience. So they will go the extra mile. So for us, this is fantastic. And to John's point, it will just allow us we will use this as a hook to really leverage Belfast's designation as UNESCO City of Music, because that is so important. Music is at the heart of everything that Belfast does. It's a vibrant city, and we've heard a lot about that already today. But for us, it's fantastic. And we expect about 130,000 overseas visitors within that 800,000, and a good number will be coming from North America. So we're very excited about it.
So let's go quickly to the Friendship Series and the Belfast Giants. Now, when you think of sports and you think of Belfast, you don't think of ice hockey. And there is a lot going on in ice hockey. And tell us about the Friendship Series.
Well, I think, if you look back, if you think when the Belfast Giants arrived in Belfast 25 years ago, and people thought that'll never last, and then they managed to get the Boston Bruins to come to Belfast, and that then sowed the seed, I think, for what is now the Friendship 4. So it is the only NCAA Division I ice hockey. They just say hockey, but we in Belfast say ice hockey tournament to play outside of North America. And the great thing about it is nowadays it's been put on a strategic footing, so they've got teams announced now right the way through to 2028, I think it is, maybe even 29, John. Ivy League teams. So sports events and sports tourism is a growing sector, and we know that's not just the players traveling, it's the fans, it's the friends, and it's the family. And so whilst we will work to get as many people there, it's what we then do working with our agency partners to get people to get out of Belfast, to explore other parts of Northern Ireland and indeed the island of Ireland. And the great thing about this particular tournament is that it takes place in November. So it's great off-season business for us in terms of always trying to balance growth and balance the season. So it's very exciting, and as I say, it's gone from strength to strength, and we're really looking forward to just leveraging that opportunity.
And that's something you're growing. Tourism Ireland is investing more in this to grow.
Yeah, and we work closely with the partners, particularly the partners here in the US, out of Boston, to push. We want to create outbound demand and get people to travel to Belfast for that. So we will be trying to encourage them to work on. We'll be developing the travel packages with those partners and promoting those. The sports events organisers will push the tournament and promote that, but we'll be working to try and extend the economic benefit, a bit like we do at a slightly different scale for the Aer Lingus College Football Classic in Dublin. So the economic impact of these events is not just tourism; it's business, educational connections. You really want it to, to maximise that sort of catalytic effect that it has for the city.
Okay, that's great. So now we're going to kind of close with Belfast Stories, which is a major initiative we spoke briefly about last year. But tell us about it. It's in development, John. Give us a quick overview of what it is.
So it's one of our City Deal projects, tourism project, and it's how can I describe it? It's a massive regeneration piece in terms of the city. So part of the site is occupied by an old Art Deco Bank of Ireland, which has its own stories because it used to be a place where lovers would meet. And then they would make their way off into the night.
That's a story.
And the rest of the site, I was too young, and the rest of the site is going to be, you're actually seeing visuals of it now on the screen. So, I mean, this is really telling the story of our place, but through the stories of our people. And, it's them telling the stories. We've had long debates about the ethics around all of this. What we recognised, of course, was that the city needed a second visitor attraction. I mean, all the Americans were coming up from Dublin on the coach, going in, having to wander around Titanic, buying the T-shirt and going straight back down to Dublin. And I thought, right, we can't really have that. So we're now building something which is in the heart of the city centre, which will hopefully hook people in. And it will be an immersive experience where you will get to understand more about the city, about where we come from, about our stories. And that's right across the divide. This is not owned by anybody politically or anything of that nature. And the stories of the conflict will no doubt be in there as well. But it's really important. It's a really important thing for us because it is, again, another one of those markers in terms of how far we as a city have travelled. And this is about giving the place a new level of cultural maturity where different cultural traditions can find some form of respect in the fact that they can tell their own stories.
So is there an ask for the audience now? I know that Laura wanted to mention, is there an opportunity for some of the people here to tell their stories or get people to tell their stories? John, what is it?
Absolutely. We're happy to take stories, the collection of stories. I mean, if you've got something that's really, off Belfast that you want to share, Laura, stand up there? See, I'm making her stand up just to try and embarrass her. She's the one that really makes the Belfast show work when it comes to New York. So yes, we're happy to receive those stories, and Laura will connect you.
Great, that would be wonderful. Now, this is promoted, will be in operation in 2030, possibly?
2029, unless I...
And it's a $100 million project for now, so it's a big, big investment, and there's opportunity for companies to get in, partners to get in. Again, multidisciplinary, multi-partner project, which is going to be...
Yeah, we'll be going out to procurement in terms of the construction aspects of it very shortly.
So we're a little over time, so if there's any closing comments you'd like to say before we wrap up?
I would just like to say, if you haven't been to Belfast, I know we have a lot of people from Belfast here, but seeing is believing in everything you do. So we find that once you visit, you want to come back, whether it's journalists, tour operators, or consumers. So if you haven't been, there's an open invitation. We look forward to working with you or welcoming you to Belfast.
John, what can we do? What can the room do to help you? Belfast City Council, do what you need to do to make this work?
You're all great. You're lovely people. Come to Belfast, have a hoolie.
All right, thank you so much.